happy holidays. Kind of weird to hear myself saying that, being that it's August, but will not be, revealing this video until around Christmas time, around the holidays. So this is my first video diary ever of a Secret Santa event. This is actually going to be my third Secret Santa, and I have done 4 summer swaps as well. So working on, being in this for a while now, but actually wanted to document it this year because, I'm actually have my YouTube channel up and running. Should at this point anyway. So those of you that aren't familiar with the website, the Fwoosh and the Secret Santa, it's something that Ethan puts together every year. The idea behind it is you create a list of figures, and there is a, basically there are some, requirements. Your list has to have 1 male character, 1 female character, and I believe you have to have at least 3 comic book heroes, mainly because of the skill level. Certain types of figures can be more intimidating for people that are new to customizing or anything like that. So they want to kind of keep it fair and keep it, to where making a figure isn't as intimidating to some as others. So with that, I'm not a really big comic guy. I never really have been. I love the, the movies that have come out and everything, but I wasn't really one to read comics much as a kid. Mainly grew up with video games and, movies, things you'd see on TV. So that's generally where I struggle when there's a list that involves a lot of comic book characters. But basically how it works, going back to where I was at, you make a list, you submit that list, you have a deadline to do so, and then what happens is the lists get mixed up, and then you receive a list, and then what you do is you have to make 1 figure within the time allotted. So basically I believe we have to ship by December 1st, being that it's the end of August. We have about 3 months to work. There's a midway checkpoint, so they can make sure that you're on pace and doing what you need to be doing as far as the requirements go. So it's very, very, much a tight community. Anybody who's not really doing what's expected of them can really kind of throw a wrench in that. So they really want to make sure that any newcomers, are kind of adhering to the rules and doing what they're supposed to. But generally, for the most part, there's really not any bad eggs, and a lot of people get along. You start to get to know people over the course of the events, and give people a hard time for certain things they've done in the past, things like that, and praise and everything. It's definitely just a really, really cool experience. So just received my list this morning. Looks like I was one of the last few. They already revealed some of the list to some of the other participants within the last few days. So I've been patiently and anxiously awaiting mine. I'm quite excited because I actually haven't looked at it yet. I've got it up here on my phone, about ready to pull it up and kind of reveal it in front of you all. Generally in the past, I have known almost right away on every list that I've gotten which figure I want to do, but I try to sleep on it, give it a couple days. But I also like to hit the ground running too, so knowing what I'm doing, picking out the figures I have. If I have to order anything, I will. I really enjoy sculpting, so if I have something that was basically very basic but will work to get the job done, I don't mind doing all the sculpting to get it to that point. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what's on my list. All right, it says, hi, here's my wish list. Hello to whomever you are. So it looks like we have Red Sonja, Savage Land Rogue, Jean Paul Valley 90s Azrael, 90s Rip Claw, Cyber Force as the in parentheses there, Volstagg, Spartacus from the TV show, Jaguar God, Goblin Queen, Inferno Madeline Pryor, Jane Foster Valkyrie, Silverhawks Monstar, Sideshow Statue Style She-Ra. My sister was huge into that as a kiddo. That's awesome to see that. A classic X-Men Storm, a DC 90s Impulse, in parentheses, Team Buck, please. It says, I'd love Marvel Legends style figures, just please no wrestling nor old DCU style figures. I definitely started on the wrestling figures, and while they worked for me at first, I definitely get where you're coming from. After a while, without minimal head articulation and articulation in the arms and everything, definitely I understand your request. No wrestling figures. All right. So looks like I have a few pictures here to kind of go off of. Sorry, I was sidetracked by a second for some reason, you know. No reason in particular, but just kind of going through, looking at the pictures here. Looks like they have some examples of what they would like to see these characters in the style of, which really actually helps me because, like I said, with the comic book characters, a lot of these I'm not very familiar with. You know, it's cool to see that they gave me an idea of what they wanted, because I want to try to get the figures as close as possible to what my recipient is asking for, mainly because I'm one of those people that, like, hey, if I see a picture of something how it is, I try to make it exactly the same way. I don't really like going off the beaten path. You know, that's where my wife and I differ a lot. She loves abstract. I love making things just exactly as the way I see them, and in my opinion, as the way they're supposed to be. So actually having pictures from my recipient really helps, because that is what I'm going to shoot for in that style of that figure, as close as possible. We've got a couple that are jumping out at me right away, but like I said, I do want to sit on it for a while and kind of think about which one I ultimately want to do. So in the next video, I will let you know which one I have chosen and what kind of fodder I'm looking at using, and then kind of going from there. But basically going to do a few videos here. We're going to start from the beginning, you know, a base figure, basically starting the control with all the joints to make sure there's no paint rub, and then from there we'll do the sculpting, painting. Sometimes I do a little painting before I finish the sculpting. It all depends on the character and kind of what I'm going for. So once that's done, we have all of our figures, everything, you know, in line with the figure, and then it's all done. We'll do a final reveal, figure review, and then once I get mine in the mail, we'll be doing a video of that as well. So honestly, my favorite part about all this is actually making the figure. I love, you know, receiving one as well, but I really make it my goal to just really wow somebody, how they, you know, open that package and be like, oh my God, you know, this is made for me. This is awesome. So that's my goal every year, is to outdo myself, do a little better each year, and have somebody really just be, you know, floored by what I've done. So that keeps me motivated, keeps me wanting to, you know, get better each time I do a figure. So gonna look through this list, and once I decide what we're doing, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.